So guys, what happens if Shawn Porter fights Errol Spence I think no one's really interested to see that, because I think they know what would happen. They know the outcome of that fight, and that would be Errol Spence destroying him, in my opinion. I think Errol Spence would destroy Shawn Porter if they were to fight. I think Shawn Porter hasn't got anything on Errol Spence. There's nothing he can do. I think Errol Spence, if he tries to come close and bully him, I think Errol Spence will bash him up and knock him out. I think if he tries to outbox, I think he'll get outboxed himself. I don't think there's anything that Shawn Porter can do. I think Shawn Porter is too small for Errol Spence. He's a bullish, strong guy, but it depends who he's fighting. I think Errol Spence will just walk him down, and I don't think Porter hits hard enough to keep him off. And I think Errol Spence would absolutely butcher him, if I'm honest with you. I think he'd just beat him up. I think that would be one of the most one-sided fights, I think, personally. I think they're very confident, the Porter team, but after yesterday's performance and after seeing how average and how poor Porter was, you know, listen, I've never been a massive fan of Shawn Porter. I thought he was technically deficient. I think he was a poorer version of Marcus Maidana. I think Marcus Maidana was technically deficient, but Marcus Maidana was a little bit better. I think Marcus Maidana was just, in my opinion, a better fighter than Shawn Porter. And I think Shawn Porter is, in my opinion, like I would say, a cheaper version of Marcus Maidana. I don't really rate Porter that highly. I saw him against Kell Brook. I wasn't that impressed. I saw him against Keith Thurman. Wasn't that impressed. Yeah, he did all right. He made it a tough, rough fight, which he always does. But against the top guys, it feels to me like he always comes out second best. And now Danny Garcia was the fight that impressed me, and I thought he did well in that fight. I thought he did good in the sense that, you know, it was a very close fight, and again, that fight could have gone either way. But, you know, nevertheless, he got the win, and most people thought that Danny Garcia were going to win that fight, and he didn't. So, you know, you have to give Porter respect. But yesterday, you have to say Porter was very lucky to get that decision, and on that performance, you just can't see him beating Errol. Even Shawn Porter at his best, I don't see him beating Errol Spence. Errol Spence is too good. He's too good for Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is very limited. There's nothing, in my opinion, he can do in order to keep... I think Errol Spence would batter him, if I'm honest with you. That's just my opinion. I think Errol Spence would knock him out. And Shawn Porter's a tough guy, but that's how much I think Errol Spence would beat him up. I think Errol Spence would just butcher him and knock him spark out. I think that would be a brutal knockout. The way Shawn Porter fights and the way he would have to fight to make it a competitive fight, I think that plays into Errol Spence's hands. And I think Errol Spence knocks him spark out, if I'm totally honest with you. I think Shawn Porter would get knocked out in that fight. I would have Errol Spence winning that fight by knockout, and that's not easy to do against someone like Shawn Porter. But that's how good I think Errol Spence is. Although I don't think he's been tested the way he should have been tested, but I still think he's too much for a limited Shawn Porter. And I think we saw that yesterday. I think a good boxer would be able to negate anything that Porter does and beat him quite convincingly. But that's my take on it. I think Errol Spence destroys Shawn Porter if they fight, and I know he's been calling for that fight. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.